Hello, ActiveSage here on the Sage channel, and today a very wonderful update came out that actually has something to do with what I was talking about in some of the previous Let's Plays. They have added a large ship grinder. Now, this wasn't exactly what I was wishing for, but it is a step in the right direction. As for a upgrade path for your grinders and welders, I was sort of hoping for something like this but on a small ship, but they haven't added. I did hear some people mention the idea that maybe the pieces you'd be grinding off are too big to fit inside small ship pipes, but let's be honest, if you can carry those parts in your tiny little character body, I think they can fit inside those pipes. We'll deal with it. Or even better, if they added like maybe 2x2, 3x3 size pipes for small ships, that would be even better for me. I'm all for more stuff to actually make things more complicated. Anyway, here we go. This is the grinder here. It's pretty simple and straightforward. If you go into them, you can indeed turn them on, and they can use conveyor systems. You can see here they just spin. And if I was to fly into it, unfortunately, right now, they don't actually kill you. You'd expect it to murder you, but it doesn't. Anyway, let me go shut that off. I'll get inside the ship and actually show you this thing at work. So let's go ahead. Off. There we go. And this ship here is a pretty basic ship I just set up to use that. The pipes go back through the whole thing. They actually connect to refineries and stuff. There's no need for a refinery and assembler, but I just threw them in there anyway. And then they just connect up to these storage, and at the back I actually do have a small connector here to spit stuff out if I so feel like it. Anyway, let's now go inside. Really simple and straightforward how to get in here. There is currently a glitch in this build. Hopefully this will be fixed later on today. If it's not fixed already by the time you're watching this, yeah, only one part of the door opens. Now, the actual collision mesh on the door isn't there. I believe it actually moves properly and vanishes into the thing, but for some reason, the model doesn't actually move with that collision mesh. So, all your doors are going to be a bit funky for right now. Don't worry, everything still works. By the way, there's a assembler I was talking about. The refinery's hidden under it. Anyway, let's go through here, go into our cockpit. Once again, going through our glitchy doors, close it so we can't see. And here we go. Nice cockpit setup, and my gravity field wasn't quite big enough to reach here. But anyway, voila, in the cockpit, let's take this thing. And just like large ship weapons and other weapons in ships, you can take this and drag it down there, or of course just right click it and go into the next available spot, or double click it, and it does the same thing. Anyway, let's go ahead and fly up to this ship now. It's a bit hard to tell distance, but of course that's just because I'm not quite used to flying large ships with something that actually needing to collide. And there we go. Once we get clear, I'm holding left mouse to keep it running. You can see there it dented it because I hit it, but if we continue on, there was some pieces breaking. There we go. And it's slowly breaking them down just as the normal grinder does. Now, its grinding speed is about the same as a normal hand grinder, which I think is a bit silly, but it makes up for that by allowing you to grind multiple pieces. So you can see it's right in the middle of these 3-block section, but the whole entire area there is being ground down. Now, a strange thing I did notice right now is, let me just stop for a second. If I open up our inventory here, you can see the grinder right here has stuff inside it. The grinder down, oh wait, yeah, we only have one grinder there, has stuff inside it. It's not being taken to the large storage containers. Now, to get it to do this, you actually have to actually go to the grinder and turn it on here. Even though the conveyor system is on, it will not actually transfer stuff from it unless you turn it on. Now, because I've turned it on, you can hear it in the background, it's of course continuing to mine away at stuff. A lot of this is, I believe, because they're planning on actually having you install many of these. So, it is slower, yes, but it affects a larger area, and also you can install a whole lot more on it. So, I'm really quickly going to go over to another ship. Let's shut this off because we don't really need this running. So, where are you? There we go, grinder, shut you off. Now let's go over to the other ship that was out there. Alrighty, here we are in the bridge of the other ship, and this one has 3 grinders. Very interestingly, grinders have connection points on their left, right, and back, but not up and bottom. But it means, I have them all connected up like that. They're actually all linked into the conveyor network. So now if we were to fly over here and go ahead and start using these, I'm holding down the mouse button. We get over to, let's try to cut around similar sort of metal that we were cutting a second ago. And big flat space there. There we go. That should get us in there. There we go. And you can see all 3 of them, that once I start sparking, that means they are indeed in contact with something. You can see all 3 I actually dented the metal there because I hit it. You can see they're cutting away, and it's actually going a little bit faster because indeed there are now 3 contact nail. And you could have a huge wall of these if you like. Might look a bit silly, but it basically means if you want more power, you just multiply your power by building more of these, which is, I don't know, I think it's alright. These aren't really very good for precision building, something I'd really like to see. Maybe if they do add grinders and welders for small ships, they'll be single block grinders and welders where you touch the block and then that's the only one it affects. Because even though there's nothing really near that center grinder, you can see it is still indeed grinding on stuff just around it. Yes, but, you know, hopeful thinking, when we get small ships, grinders and stuff, or if we get them at least, they'll be more precision and they'll just be maybe double the speed of normal ones. And maybe there'll be some sort of mechanic there to prevent you from placing 2 or 3 of them really right next to each other like this. Maybe they'll have a 3x3x6 collision around them, so it's like a bit of a frail robo arm or something. I don't know, not frail. We don't want to use that, and we do want to allow people freedom. I'm not exactly sure how to balance it. I just would like something that's quicker but has a lot of precision. Anyway, so there's that. That's very nice. Of course, these currently will not be transferring anything through. If we go to the grinders, actually we have to go in here, you can see they have their own inventory space, and once again they're just being filled up because they weren't turned on here. But if of course I turn them on here, you can hear them spinning up to start grinding stuff. One of them actually was in range of something. But if we go back in here now, you can see they're disappearing what they're mining into here, which is pretty dang cool. Now, of course, if you mine something like, let's say, a reactor of a ship, so really quickly, let me buzz this around. Oops, small impact there. That was a bit silly. Could have killed myself there. Wasn't, yeah. I'm just going to grind myself into this other ship here and go ahead and take out the reactor. Here we go, I decided to edit in and actually speed up this footage of me trying to get to the reactor. This is actually 6 times normal speed. I just thought it was pretty dang cool to actually see, you know, the process of cutting in there sped up. Okay, well, that was a faux I just realized I installed the reactors in another spot of the ship. That was just the engines. So you can see here, because they are still on though, it's giving me a good chance to show that it does collect not just the metal plates, it collects all the components that were used to build it, just like you usually would. And of course, in this ship I have an assembler, so if I wish I could go to the back of the ship now and use that assembler to put some stuff together. But now let me take out the part I should have been taking out in the first place. And here we go, once again I have sped up this footage another 6 times its normal speed. So you can see me get into what I'm aiming at. And here I actually do aim down a bit, just so you can actually see the reactor. There we go. So it just disappeared. That means I took it out. Let's go ahead and back up. That way we're not dealing with the grindy noise. And we can pop open our inventory. You can see here we got all our reactor components, but we didn't get any of the uranium from inside the reactor. Just like usual, whenever you take out a reactor, the bits that are inside it, the actual uranium and other materials that are inside it, just fall to the ground. So if we go in there and when you take a look, of course there should be some uranium just laying here on the ground. It's possible it got bumped out of the way, but yeah, it didn't. If you saw there, it didn't actually pick them up. And we can double check that right here from these. You can indeed access these panels on the side just like you would normally on any other system, and you see here no uranium, it's gone. It's possible that our ship actually picked it up and shifted it into these reactors, but it's unlikely. Let me do a double check just to make sure that didn't happen. Alrighty, so I've reloaded the level. I'm back in here, and you can see it was 1.5 and 0.17, so it looks like these should be about where they were. It looks to be that whatever was in that other reactor just fell to the ground and probably disappeared, or it was probably the 1.17 in this one, so probably it wasn't enough to really be seen. It just sort of fell, disappeared, destroyed itself, or something of that sort. Anyway, that's it for the grinders. Pretty cool stuff. You can of course set them on stations as well and just drive ships into them and tear them down. It's all pretty cool stuff. I suggest you take a look at it yourself. I could demonstrate that really quickly. You want to see that? Yeah, sure, I'll demonstrate that really quickly. Alrighty, so here we go. Nice little setup. I've gone through one at a time and turned all of those grinders on. That's a bit annoying that we don't have grouping, but I'm sure it'll get there one day. And now I'm going to go and grab one of these small ships from over here. I'm going to drag it over here, just using control and the scroll wheel to bring it in here. Using copy paste, of course, to copy and paste it. And now we can fly it over here, and it's pretty dang cool, actually, if you're flying one of these, to fly in there and suddenly hear all of that. And see those bits of smoke getting... Let's turn on our UI. Yeah, everything still seems to be fine, doesn't it? Just some smoke. I'm sure it's nothing bad. Okay, our light's gone. Oh, look at the guns. Actually, they're pretty damn. Oh, you could imagine some sort of machine trapping a person in their ship. Slowly, things disappearing around them, such as this. I mean, I bet you if I tried to. Oh, I can still go up. Yeah, it's a bit slower. Oh, I even flew out of it. Let's look at the outside. Let's just look at the outside. What does our ship look like? Oh, it's not too bad. I mean, I think our main reactor's offline. Yeah, we can't even move anymore. But I mean, we can still sit here and just sort of relax. Yeah, no, we can't. We just lost our cockpit. Yeah, that's that. So that's pretty dang cool. Let's just go ahead and take another one of these and really quickly just do that. Oh, and you see some of it's already being stripped away. Let's actually hop in and just fly it over it. Push the old rubbish out of the way, bring it down as far as we can. Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty dang cool to see that. You can see that the reactor, wherever I'm aiming, it's still showing up even though I'm on 0. That happens sometimes now. It's like whatever your last tool was still shows up, so... Anyway, yeah, that's pretty dang cool. Okay, one last thing to show you guys before I wrap this up is something they've done over here. And actually, I say over here, you notice how quick I move? Sometimes in these small ships, let's say I just want to aim at that door at the bottom here. And yeah, I got it, but it's a little hard. You know, let's really quickly aim at it, shall we? Oh, a little hard, you know? Sometimes you want a bit more precision. Well now, K, go to your gyroscope, and you can actually change just how much power it's using. So let's put it down at 10%, and now I move my mouse, and we have a bit more aim. It's still pretty dang good on a light ship like this, but look how easily I can aim back to that spot. It's pretty dang cool. And that applies for small ships and big ship gyroscopes. It's pretty dang awesome. Anyway, that's about it, guys. I hope you've enjoyed all of this nonsense today. Oh, and by the way, I have to warn you, sometimes if you're by a large ship that's being grinded away and stuff, you might get a bit of a flickering with these grinders. I'm not seeing it here, but I have noticed a bit of a flicker from them before when they're sort of grinding other large ships or in a very dark area. Might be a bit of an epilepsy issue for some, I don't know. It just made me feel uncomfortable, I know that much. Anyway, that's it. Thanks a bunch for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.